Hey, happy birthday, Sarah.
Hi, making waves.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, how are you celebrating?
It's been an amazing day. So I started the day with a pretty intense weight training session with Captain America, and
Uh-huh.
then I did a 3.4 mile run because I'm 34. So
All
that was
right.
great. And then my mom came and we went to this new vegan spot that I had never been to before that has like steak and cheese, like vegan, and I wanted something that was fun, so I did that. And now I'm here with you, and so it's been great.
All right. So I'm hearing two really interesting three things as treats. So one is like, okay, for my birthday, I'm going to do these kick-ass workouts,
Yes.
right? And then it's a little bit different, like, and then I'm going to have some food that I don't normally eat,
Yep.
right? Like most people would either go all the way in one direction or all the way in the other direction.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I knew like a part of like I was kind of conflicted this morning where at first I was like, "Oh, should I rest?" And then I was like, "No, like I want to actually like plan out like the rest of this month and kind of like go forward and change up my workouts and do things like that." So we started the morning just kind of brainstorming as of like how else we want our food to look and all these different things. And then I was like, I definitely want to do a workout and see, what's going on with that. And then I was like, I definitely want to have something that I normally don't have, so that
Hmm.
I can like have that joy experience.
Uh-huh. Cool. So how are you feeling now?
I feel really, really great. I mean, definitely a little bit sore, but I'm like, I mean, it was funny because like when I'm running, like at first, Captain America was like, okay, we can just run like 2 miles. And I'm like, no, I'm 34. Like, I want to do 3.4, right? So I'm like smiling the whole time I'm running. And then all of a sudden, like, it gets longer and longer. And I'm like, okay, are we done yet?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, now we're done. But it was a much easier run, and running's becoming like way more fun when you look at butterflies and you're just smiling and you got music going, and it's like it's really, really great. So
Hmm. Yeah, you could also have done 34 miles.
I could have, but I don't know if that was in my training book since
Yeah.
I've only done 4.8 so far. So I didn't want to be like carried out, like, sorry, can't use my legs today.
Hmm. So have you used the occasion of a birthday to kind of, plan anything or think about anything or like put a marker in time to allow you to examine or make plans or anything like that?
So I mean, I set an intention today that this birthday I actually wanted to focus on joy and love for everyone. So this birthday wasn't necessarily about me. It was
Hmm.
more about just really like understanding that I'm here to bring joy and love to everyone and kind of honing into that energy and allowing it. And like by doing that, it was just there were just so many great experiences along the way. Like a lot of times when we think of a birthday, we need to go on a destination or we need material things or we want to eat like so bad, and then we
Hmm.
just feel bad, the next day. And like I didn't want any guilt or anything like that. I just wanted to experience what I wanted to experience today and have goals set in place going forward of what I'd like to achieve, and then kind of go with it that way. And just also just kind of like looking back at like how much I've grown, how much I've expanded in this like 34 years around the sun. And it's just like so amazing to even be here, speaking with you and just like understanding that it's just more than buying something at a store. Or like even like there was a piece of me that was like, oh, like maybe I want a birthday cake that says happy birthday Sarah, right? And like Captain was like, who's going to eat the rest of the cake after today, and I'm like, oh yeah, good point, so he like helped me like remember that I didn't necessarily need that. So I took like one of my candles here, and I like lit it and then I blew it out,
Ah,
just like here, here's a birthday candle for you, kind of thing. So, sometimes we try to compare birthdays and things, but if we look at like where we're at now and where we want to go from here, it can definitely look different and feel different, and you don't have to feel bad about your birthday, like you can have this amazing experience and know that it's not going to be like that, like going forward.
uh-huh. Well, that brings up two things for me. Um, one is I can't remember the source, but there have been studies essentially about giving people money and telling them to spend the money to make themselves happy. And some people are told to spend the money on themselves, and then some people are told to spend the money on other people. And without question, the people who spend money on other people come back reporting being happier. Like that spending made them happier.
Exactly.
And the second thing is, I was listening to a talk with Gabor Mate, who's this Vancouver-based physician, just a beautiful soul about trauma and addiction. And he was talking, he's dealt with thousands of people with addictions. And one of the things he says is like what the addict really wants is not to feel addicted. And the moment that they don't feel addicted is when they've just had their thing. Like when they've just snorted or smoked or eaten or drank or, done porn. And they're all of a sudden they feel, oh, like I'm complete. And the next minute, and they feel like, oh, God, I have to stop this because this isn't, and then the next minute they want it again. And so, like the way you were describing what you wanted for your birthday was to spread joy and love to everyone and to not sort of acquire things for yourself. Like that's sort of the opposite of addiction,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's very freeing. Say, like, I can keep doing this, and every time I do it, it feels better and better and better. And it's not one of these dysfunctional cravings that I could never fill.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean and like the whole entire day, like I've just felt so great, like I just even when the workout was like challenging benching, like weight, like it was still like, oh wow, like here's joy for someone. Like every time I see someone outside, cuz now like people are wearing their mask and things like that. Like every time I see someone like that, I say in my head like I love you, and I like just like pour so much love into them, because a lot of times, with everything going on, like there's, if you want to run with a mask or you don't want to run with a mask or whatever your preference is, like there's still judgment of people judging each other. And so like for me, like I've been working on no judgment to myself and also no judgment to others. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm expressing the love everywhere I go, just because it just makes me feel that times better. And like a lot of times, like the people will like turn their head and like give a wave or, or something that just kind of shows that like, even though they may not have heard me, like we're still connected in this like beautiful way of, energy and things like that. So,
Yeah, yeah, I love it when I'm running and people don't judge me for not wearing pants. That's
yeah.
I just feel so accepted.
Wouldn't that be like, well, what if that was a thing, right? Or like when people like, I know a bunch of like memes have said like people like when they take off the mask, it feels like taking off a bra or like your pants,
Right.
and you're like, woo, so freeing, but
Yeah.
like, what if like, like all of it could be all of that, right? and
Right.
and more. We could just say, hey, I don't want to wear pants when I run today.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. It's your problem, not mine.
Your problem, exactly. Maybe we'll get there one day. Too funny.
Yeah. The
Cool.
other thing I was thinking, I was listening to an interview with Wim Hof, the Iceman, the guy who does all those cold and breathing exercises. And he was talking about a trip he's planning to Kilimanjaro, I think next spring, with like 35 people. And they're going to like jog up Kilimanjaro, just in shorts. And the name of the project, I didn't catch the actual words, but apparently it's the Maasai term for step by step. He says, like, if you start thinking about it, if you're halfway up the mountain and now you're freezing and you have oxygen deprivation and you're miserable, and you start thinking, like, here's where I am and this is how far I have to go, right? It's really disempowering. But if you're just like forcing your consciousness into this moment, into this step, you can always do this step. So I love that that's how they were thinking about this long, arduous, many people would consider physiologically impossible challenge. It's just step by step.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like how we should all really be looking at life, especially now when we don't know what is in store next day, next week, next month, next year, like
Right.
we have no idea. And now is the perfect time for us to step into this moment to moment experience so that we don't look for anything further, but just looking at it right now and being excited and joyful and just loving what we're given.
Yeah, I think Eckhart Tolle talked about, like, take someone who's imprisoned for life, for the rest of their life. Says, well, in that moment, you're only imprisoned for life in your mind, right? All you are in this moment is in a room, which I thought, like, really, like, shook me. Like, yeah, that's true. And it seems like such a hard thing to remember, like that. Like, oh, I'm in a room, right? I don't, there's no such thing as past and future when you're absolutely living in the present. And we just don't know.
Exactly. Like sometimes when I'm just in my home and then I go out, outside and then I see, just people and, I almost forget that we're in a pandemic, because I literally in my home, I feel so much joy and love and it just feels like everything is just normal. Right. And then it's
Mm-hmm.
like you go outside and then it's like, okay, this is a different, way of being right now. And okay, and then you just kind of go through that and then you get back and you're like, okay, here I am.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, that's one of the blessings of, like, watching good TV or a good movie is, like, I can get like, if it's a really well written, well acted, well constructed show, I can get really into it. And they're all based on drama and conflict and things going wrong, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be interesting to watch. And I get such palpable relief when, like, the episode is over and I'm like, I feel so bad, like, I feel shame for what I did. I said, oh no, that wasn't me, that was Jennifer Aniston. I'm fine.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Yeah, but I mean, it's good.
I'm watching this show on Apple TV. They gave me a free year of Apple TV somehow. It's called The Morning Show. And it's just really, it's all about, like, Me Too and race and incredible egos and the traumas that they inflict on one another. And it's, like, really, really heavy stuff. And I'm so happy when I finish an episode. I'm like, oh, that was fixed. That wasn't my life. It could be. Right? Like, there's nothing that any of those people are doing, however bad, that I don't have those impulses too, and I don't understand where they're coming from. And yet, just to have the freedom to not be in that world. Like, what if I wake up tomorrow and I am the world's highest paid anchor for a news show, and I'm miserable, and I've sold my soul, and I've been a sexual predator for 15 years? Like, that could happen. I could wake up and that would be my reality, and this has just been a dream.
Yeah, true.
But what a relief that right now, this moment, I'm, like, in integrity, food in my belly, talking to you on your birthday.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, even yesterday, I was watching something on, like, the sex trafficking and things like that, and, like, actually after watching it, like, again, like what you're saying, like, there's just this relief of feeling like, oh man, like that could have been me, and maybe
Mm.
it really could have been me, right? But in this now moment, it's not me, and like, what can I do to help release that so that I can help those who are in that situation now, be able to come out of it, right?
Right. To stay, okay, so I'm part of this world, right? I don't manifest the whole world, right? We're co-creating that. I don't have that power.
Exactly. Yes.
And in my role, how do I spread love and light, right? So that other people spread love and light, so that there are things for which I am willing to go out of my way and take a stand, and there's other things, right? I can't do everything for everyone. So do I approach it in terms of, hating the haters or trying something else?
Exactly. And I think just the more that we can love everyone, all, I know, like, there's been some things that, like, some people are saying, like, love for all who have love for all. But what if there's people that don't have love for all? Does that mean you don't love them too? Like, there should be, like, this big thing of, like, just a circle of love regardless of whatever anyone's opinions or thoughts or any beliefs or even who they are or what spacesuit they're in today, and any of that. Like, it's none of that should really matter. And it should all just be that we understand that we're all connected, and what each of us can do today, right now, in this moment, is going to lead us to, a greater world. So,
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah,
that's a great place to end today's chat.
it is beautiful. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here on my birthday,
Well,
and we'll see you next
happy
time.
birthday. So let's get some birthday comments and affirmations and greetings on the Sick to Fit page for our very own Mergoddess Sarah Bofinger into
Yay!
into the 35th year. 1/3.
34th. 34th.
But your 35th year now, right?
No, I'm 34.
Yeah, you've completed 34.
Oh yeah, I guess
So,
we were talking in the next year of. No, I
yeah,
mean, I'm going into my 34th year.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You're 34, right?
Yes.
So the next year, so the one you're going into is
Oh
the
yeah.
is the 35th. I'm gonna fight you on this.
I know, right? Well, it doesn't matter, right? It could be 34, 35, 36, 38,
Right. Just
50.
that depends when you start counting from.
Exactly.
Right. You had a rebirth.
I did.
You could be 9
I could be.
and
Or 2.
and infinite.
Exactly.
All right. Well, however many year numbers you want to count.
Exactly.
Have a great day. Have a great year, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes. All right. See ya.
Bye.
Waving on out.
Woo.
Bye bye.